So I thought today I would talk a little bit about the joy of drawing and show you some of the sketches that I did just to, as I was having a good time, just sitting there drawing and sketching and figuring out some stuff with character designs and character expressions. So this is a little kid that I was coming up with, and he's slightly different ages in these pictures. And this was an older character I did, and just figuring out who he was, and yet another character I did. And what this comes down to is just my love of drawing and character design, character development. And you see here, I just filled the whole page with variations on a theme here of this bunch of different guys here. And I love just drawing sometimes, coming up with little slight variations on different characters. At this point I was doing, how can I make my characters happy? And so I gave all these guys these great big smiles. And here I'm going into Hanna-Barbera style characters. And you see they all have a similar type of mouth approach and crossed eyes. And here's some more of that influence. You would always see these character model sheets, or sometimes publicity art for when they were advertising a show, and a character would strike this pose. So I do these drawings just to keep in practice. And what kind of character am I looking to design? Now, what has all that got to do with animation? Well, I bought this magazine. This might have been the first issue I bought of this magazine, Funnyworld, which was created by the great animation writer Michael Barrier. And I guess it counts as being a fanzine, but very well produced. So he would do these articles about the golden age of animation and present day animation as well. And I flipped through it. I think I bought this at a Comic-Con, and I came upon this page that had a model sheet for a character named Private Snafu. And I studied this little tiny drawing of the model sheet, and I was just marveling at how plastic, rubbery his face was to get across all these different expressions. And I guess the Warner Brothers units turned out a bunch of Private Snafu cartoons. And Snafu means situation normal, all fouled up. There was one for the Navy, and I'm forgetting that character's name, but also a really cool design, I thought. And as it goes on in the magazine, came to this article about the Three Caballeros, a Disney cartoon, and this character called Panchito. And I looked at that model sheet and I thought, wow, look at that. Look at these expressions and poses. And I was just fascinated by that. And I finally got to see this film, I guess in 1980 or 81. My buddy Leonard used to have film parties at his house, and he would get 16 millimeter prints from Disney Studio where he was working at the time. And a bunch of us animators would crowd into his apartment in the living room and watch these great old films. And I got to see a bunch of Disney animation that way. back in the early 80s was going to Leonard's film parties. So looking up old model sheets kind of influenced the way that I draw.